Good to go. Good evening, everyone. 6 p.m. on a Tuesday, May 21st. Call the meeting to order. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. We're going to make a change. Councillor Campbell has requested to remove item 15.1. So the motion reads that the agenda for the council meeting of Tuesday, May 21st, 2024 be approved as amended. Moved by Councillor Young, seconded by Councillor McConnell. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Item 3 is declaration of interest. Are there any such tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on. Small audience today. We have Veronica from the paper and the chief is here. So not like last week where it was standing room only. So no presentations, no delegations. The next item up is minutes from the last meeting of May 6th. The motion is that council minutes dated May 6th be accepted as presented. Moved by Councillor Kirkby, Councillor Burton. Any questions?
Yeah. Actually, no, this isn't a question. It's something that I would like to see some information from staff in regards to something that's in these minutes. Where
is it in those minutes?
No. It's in regards to, well, can I give a little bit of detail here and perhaps staff can tell us how to, on page 6, Mr. Armstrong, I'm just going to quote here, Mr. Armstrong spoke to the start of the 2024 season timeline for ice creation and the opening of the walking track, and discussion was also held when we were going to close the arena. Previous years, we had the people that are now in our arena available for work outside in our gardens and given the fact that we're closing down in May and opening, really, we're starting in July, that is a very thin timeline for those people. And I'm wondering if with the next presentation from staff in regards to actual staff availability, whether we need to hire somebody else to accomplish what should be done, what people expect to be done as far as the gardens go in the summer. However that fits in there, I don't know.
Matthew,
we'd be happy to bring that back to the next meeting.
Next meeting? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We have a mover and a seconder, so all in favor? Call the question. Carried, thank you. 7 is communication and petition, which there are none this evening. 8 is consent reports, 8.1. Is there anything anyone would like to see pulled out of the information package? Councillor McConnell?
Thank you, Mayor Shankar. I'd like to pull out the minutes from the Planning Advisory Committee. As we all know, this involves some loans and grants that we've made on several projects. Unfortunately, the description of these projects is not that great. So if we as a council are going to be giving and loaning money at 0% interest to other property owners in the community, I think it behooves us to have an idea of what the projects are that we're going to be donating that money to. So I would like to pull that out and ask staff for a little more detailed report on those projects next week, if I could.
Next meeting?
Well, yeah, that's what we need. Well, I said next week, next meeting.
I think we can do that. Anything else? Great. So the motion is that all items listed under consent report section of the agenda be accepted and presented, save and except for minutes of the PAC meeting. Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Lockett. All in favor? Great, carried, thank you. No committee reports tonight. Mayor report. So a couple of good things since our last meeting. We had the opening of the pop-ups on the weekend, which was a great success. Lots of people. The weather really worked out for us for a change, which is usually something. We also opened up the lighthouse, and then Saturday they opened up the lighthouse again for the Historical Society. There was a meeting today with the mayors and Steve Clark with the parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Municipal Housing Affairs. So we just had a chance to state our case for our funding application. That was the big thing today. So that was I attended that. I'm at a blank here. There's lots of things we go to, but we don't take pictures at all of them. So I'm going to move around the table and let everyone else have a chance. Councillor Lockett.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a busy time. I attended the Mother's Day breakfast at the Legion, and then their AGM, which I was just saying to Mayor Shankar, it was actually a very emotional meeting. It was full uniforms, the flags, it was done really well, and our family was there, and so we were very touched. They're a hardworking group, and yeah, it was just a really good event.
And the smile cookies was 14,000.
Yeah, 14,000 this year for the smile cookies for the Legion, and I know they've got a lot of uses for it. So yeah, we did provide the cookies and we did the decorating, but so did the culinary class at the high school. They were decorating hundreds every morning. But really it's the community that that bought the cookies and supported it. So it wasn't just us.
Well, thank you. Councillor McConnell.
Thank you, Mayor Shankar. I attended a burial back in the cemetery as a member of the cemetery board last week. It was kind of maybe one a little more interesting than normal because they weren't exactly sure where it was going to go. It was an urn which was being placed on top of a casket in an existing plot, and it was a plot of 3 with 1 stone, and the stone was buried under with that much of debris. So it took a lot of cleaning to get down to the stone, and then a bit of searching, I guess you could say, to find the exact place. But it went off without a hitch. People were quite happy. I also had the pleasure of filling in for yourself, Mayor Shankar, as deputy mayor, for the unveiling of the historical plaques in the lighthouse. And if you haven't been in yet, or members of the public have not been in yet, it is well worth the trip. It's like a trip down memory lane. It kind of winds around the 2nd floor, and it gives an idea of what Prescott was like all the way back into the 1830s and forward. And if you just happen to go down to our riverfront now, and you see the parkland and you've just moved into town or you're visiting us, you might think, wow, it's been there forever, but it certainly hasn't been. And this gives a very good illustration of where we have come as a community, how far we have come with our riverfront. And we're very lucky to have the waterfront that we do now. The Historical Society, of course, should be congratulated for the work that they did on these. And of course, the town provided some money. So all in all, it's a great project. The stairs that we repaired are good and solid, so there's no problem going up now. And it's well worth visiting. Thank you.
Go. Councillor Young.
Thank you, Mayor Shankar. I attended the South Grenville Chamber of Commerce AGM, and they have their 3 pillars. So they've been working on their strategic plan. So they've finally finished it. So their pillars, collaboration, sustainability, and value are what they're going to move forward with. They elected a couple new directors, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do this year. They also gave us a copy of the South Grenville Visitor Guide as well. So there's Prescott's in there. So that was interesting. And I think Dana did a swap, right, with Alexandria Bay. So the US visitors will have a copy of this at their disposal. So that's good. BIA meeting was last week. So I think we have decided we're going to activate Thursday evenings again at the clock tower. So we're looking forward to that, and lots of sponsorships that we're going to do because we want to be partners with everybody. Lindsay has some photos. Now, some of these photos I took, so they're not that great, but it's just photos to show. You know, what a great kickoff to the long weekend and to our tourist season. And it literally was busy. I'm sure everybody noticed, from west to east in Prescott. But like, there were people playing tennis, there were people, that's the parking lot at the tennis courts. It was full, and it was all the way up onto King. There were people, lots of people putting their boats in. There were people just sitting there enjoying the nice weather. The splash pad was full. The beach was busy already too. There's a picture of the beach. And then as you went towards the pop-ups, Katarina's was full, and you got to the pop-ups, they were full, the parking lot there. So it was just so neat to see how busy Prescott was. And in the north end, I didn't have pictures, but it was busy too. In the north end, lots of visitors, and wow, do we ever have a great tourist season to look forward to. And thank you to town staff, because everything looked great. And I just felt we're so lucky to have so many things in our small town to do. And that's everything.
Thank you, Councilor. Good move with the props and everything. Add that to our little.
Catch me playing tennis.
Councilor Burton?
Thank you. Lots of things happening at the library. We're having an author come in on May 25th at 1:30, Ryan Murdoch. Spring tea went really well. There was over 50 participants, and thanks to all the volunteers that helped out that day. Tickets are on sale for Shakespeare. So we're looking forward to that. And thanks to town staff for the amphitheater is absolutely beautiful, and it's wonderful. I did have an opportunity to go down yesterday to the pop-ups and talk to many merchants that were still open, and our brew was still open as well, and they were super happy. They were actually, most of them that I talked to, the merchants, were overwhelmed with so many people that came through their stores. And if they had a brick and mortar store, they would be going there, and vice versa, and lots of great things. And then I noticed this couple sitting in the grass, and I think I was talking to Miss Dana, and she says they've been sitting there all day. I said, well, what are they doing? She said, look up. They were flying a kite all day long. And it must have been what? It was super high.
So high.
Yeah, super high. Yeah, it was fabulous. And I love that. They were just sitting there enjoying our waterfront and flying their kite. Good, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Campbell?
I too attended the lighthouse unveiling of the historical plaques and was super impressed with the professionalism of the plaques, the photos, the stories, the spelling. It's all great. I'm always checking spelling. And when you get to the top, there's an amazing view, which we haven't seen in a while since we haven't been able to go up. So that was really awesome. I attended the fire admin meeting on May 7th. The volunteers are going to be attending a CN rail workshop on July 14th. They're going to be involved with MTJB, which is more than just babysitting, on May 26th, touch a truck event, open house 6 to 8 p.m. And the fire department's looking for those old plastic milk cartons that we all kept our records in. And if you don't have records anymore, perhaps you can hand over some to the fire department. They need some to store. What I didn't understand was cribbing. They're going to store cribbing in it. So they'd be much appreciated for that. Just a question from residents from Centennial Park. They used to have Adirondack chairs in the park, and I've been asked on various occasions, because they're all down at the market now, if we could have a couple brought back to the park, because there aren't any anymore.
Okay, we're just kind of going through that and placement, and so that will be back there.
Okay, great.
And Councilor Campbell, when did you say the Touch a Truck event is at MTJB?
May 26th,
Yeah, what time?
6 to 8 p.m.
Are you sure it's that late? I thought I have like 12 on my calendar. Cause that's a Sunday.
Well, sorry,
I still wanted to pay for the wrong day.
12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Okay, sorry about that.
Thank you.
Good
Yeah.
catch.
Councilor Kirkby?
Thank you. I also attended the pop-up grand opening, which was great. Lots of people down there. Talked to a couple of vendors. Talked to a food vendor that had sold out of smash burgers. Within a couple of hours, the pizza, that's the Judy's Wooden Spoon, which the smash burgers are the latest thing. The pizza, they sold out of the 4 cheese when I tried to get it. So things were going good down there. We also did the grand opening of the River Vibe picnics and once at 426. Took a walk around. The amphitheater does look great. The pressure washing that they did on the lighthouse looked super white, looked great. Parks look mowed, flowers look good. I mean, there's not much to add. I had a pretty easy couple weeks between our last meetings, but staff doing a good job makes it easy.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Councilor. Okay, very good. We're going to move on to our staff reports. Oh, only 2 staff reports tonight. Item 12.1 is staff report 35-2024, a shared land use planner. This report is from our CAO, Matthew Armstrong. The recommendation reads that council approve entering into a partnership with the Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal to employ a shared land use planner. Mover and seconder for discussion, Councilor Burton, Councilor Kirkby, Mr. Armstrong.
Very much, Mr. Mayor. So what you see before you this evening is kind of just good timing, but really what it comes down to is Edwardsburg Cardinal is looking to go out to hire a land use planner, and reached out to their neighbors to see if we would be interested in partnering with that. So as the report notes, that we spend anywhere from $25,000 to $35,000 a year on land use planners, and we work with WSP, who was chosen 5 years ago as our consultant. And so now that we've done the comprehensive official plan, and we just received approval for that, now is to move on to the zoning bylaw, as well as the regular work that we do day in and day out when it comes to planning. So we believe that, based on the current workload, as well as the future workload that I just noted, that a day to a day and a half a week would be certainly very beneficial to the town to get done all the things that we're looking to do. That would be able to be covered by the current budget. We have $40,000 for doing land use planning, as well as the peer reviews for various developments that come along, and that we would be able to afford up to 1.5 days per week. One of the benefits of this is that land use planning tends to be very up and down, seasonal, that type of thing. So we would be able to buy the hours that we need when we need them, as opposed to somebody just being here every single, just for the sake of it. So we believe that it's a really good option. Adding to the team, having that expertise, we certainly take a team approach in development, where we bring together economic development, building, myself, fire department, operations, and we really, when somebody's talking about development, we meet as a team, walk through the potential things that they need to be aware of. And so that way we're on the same page right from the beginning. Having planning expertise to be able to support that would certainly aid in that, and really getting our development applications in front of the applicable decision body, and whether that's council or committee of adjustment or planning advisory, is certainly one of the goals that we strive for, and we've been successful thus far. We feel that having a planner being able to be basically on staff, but certainly shared between us and Edwardsburg Cardinal, would be highly beneficial to increasing and continuing to decrease the amount of time it takes from application to decision. So more than happy to answer any questions there might be, but I thought it was a very interesting possibility, and certainly fit within the strategic plan, as well as our intention of continuing our initiatives with our neighbors.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Armstrong. Any questions for Mr. Armstrong? Councillor McCall and Councillor Lockton?
Matthew, what does Augusta do for planning? Do you know?
They have a planner on staff as well.
Full time?
I believe so.
Okay, well, I'm not against this. It seems like a good idea, but it seems to me, given the fact that we've been talking to Augusta about what's going on next door, it would be more sensible to partner with Augusta than it would be to Edwardsburg. But if they're not looking, and we don't stand a chance of sharing their person, then this, I guess, would be a kind of a reasonable alternative. And this is like a year contract. Is that what we're talking about?
Ours would probably sign for a 3-year period. It would be Edwardsburg Cardinal's employees, similar to how the bylaw enforcement officers are employed, but we share with Augusta, that we would do a similar situation, but Edwardsburg Cardinal would be the employer.
Thank you.
Councillor Lockton?
Thank you, Mayor Shankar. So if we entered into this agreement, and we got a day and a day and a half, would that person actually be in the town hall? Or with like specified days so people would know?
A lot of that type of work can be done remotely. So definitely when we're doing in-person meetings, that sort of thing, they would definitely be here. But a lot of that can be done from absolutely anywhere.
Yeah.
But certainly we want to be able to provide that in-person
Yeah,
service as well.
thank you.
Do we have people that walk in looking to talk to the land planner?
No, not usually. Usually their first point of contact is either Dana or Sean. It tends to be because they'll be asking certain things, and then it's okay, so what are you doing? And then we start to develop a better understanding, and then that's generally when we get the land use planner involved.
Any other questions? All right, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, item 12.2 is staff report 36-2024, Eastern Ontario Firefighters Association Convention. Report from this will be presented by Matthew Armstrong. The recommendation reads that council approve the in-kind support as outlined in staff report 36-2024 as the host community of the 2024 Eastern Ontario Firefighters Association Convention. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Britton, Councillor Kirkby. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. So if you remember months ago, the Prescott Firefighters Association came in, presented to council, talked a little bit about the upcoming convention and games. We're happy to report that there's a total of 10 teams, including Prescott. And we were able to provide a bit of a schedule of events. So on the Friday evening, they have an association meeting that will be at the Leroy Community Center. And then they have a spouses night event. And Dana's been doing a fantastic job of working to kind of provide some entertainment, that sort of thing. On Saturday is the games themselves, dry races in the morning, wet races in the afternoon. And then they were able to secure several food trucks to be able to provide for the spectators as well as the competitors. Going into evening, parade at 7 p.m. on King Street, award presentation at 7:30, and then a dance at the Leopold Community Center with Healy and Orr. And I believe tickets will be available shortly. And then Sunday, the Prescott Firefighters Association has a crew of individuals that will come and help clean up and restore our venues back to their splendor. So really, when we take a look at several of the things that we're doing to support, obviously the road closures is a big one. The Firefighters Association said that they would go and talk to the residents in that area for those that are most affected. And then at the same time, we will continue to have coverage of Prescott and the surrounding area. We will have crew that will be available and be able to respond to emergency calls. So in terms of in-kind support, it would be a waiver of the rental fees for Saturday and Sunday, or sorry, Friday and Saturday at the Leo Boyd Community Center. Additional overtime for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which can be covered by the operational budget. Waiver of the food truck license fee, $600, just in foregone revenue. And then in that particular bylaw that we just passed last year, we did note that fees may be waived for charitable refreshment sales, festivals, or trade shows of a broad community nature. They still have to get the license, but the fee could be waived. And then up to $1,000 to cost to cover the cost of the premiums of the event insurance. And then in terms of Prescott branded items will be provided to the firefighter participants. And if all of the items just previously mentioned are approved, if we do not believe it will have a detrimental effect on the operational budget. Thank you.
Very good. Any questions from Mr. Armstrong? Councillor Burton, then Councillor Kirkby,
Thank you, Mayor
and
Schenker.
Councillor Lockett.
This is a great event to attend. I'd encourage everybody and their families and friends to come out. It's not only a firefighter event, it's a huge family event. So anyways, I totally support this. I think this is great that we're supporting the fire department. It's always been a great partnership with the fire department and council. Are we putting extra garbage cans out just to be proactive and all that? Yeah, I thought so too, but yeah, excellent. That's great. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Kirkby?
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Schenker. Matthew, the streets would just be closed only to residential traffic, right? That's correct. Yep. And then Fat Les and Joe. So Iroquois Pizza is just for the competitors. I already cleared this up. It's kind of more of a catering. Fat Les and Joe's would have to get a license. That license would only be good for the days of the event, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Councillor Lockett?
Yeah, so my questions were kind of along the same line as Councillor Kirkby. I'm just wondering, I totally support it. I think it's a great event. I have attended it many times in different places, but I just wonder about the waiving of the fees, the $600. I'm really wavering on that one.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Really, if maybe you can explain or somebody can why we're waiving the fees on the food trucks.
I think we did mention that, but Matthew?
Sure, because it's kind of what I would determine to be a festival or that sort of thing of a broad community nature. It's being hosted, obviously by the Prescott Firefighters Association, which is a quasi extension of the town. That was really the reason behind it. They did reach out, to my understanding, they did reach out to various local eateries, that sort of thing, and then had to go a little bit further afield to be able to secure the individuals or the two food trucks for those days.
Any other questions? I'll call the question. All in favor? Great, thank you. Okay, 13 is resolutions, which there are none. 14 is bylaws. We have a few of them today. 4 of them. So the first one, 14.1, bylaw 20-2024, being a bylaw to adopt the estimates for the sums required during the year 2024 for general purposes of the corporation of the town of Prescott be read and passed, signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed by the seal of the corporation. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor McConnell and Councillor Young. All in favor? Okay, thank you. 14.2 is a 2024 tax ratios bylaw. This bylaw 21-2024 being a bylaw to set the tax ratios for the year 2024 be read and passed, signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed by the seal of the corporation. Mover and seconder, Councillor Burton, Councillor Kirkby. Thank you. All in favor? Next one is 14.3, the 2024 tax rates bylaw. That bylaw 22-2024, being a bylaw to adopt the tax rates for municipal purposes for the year 2024, be read and passed, signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed by the seal of the corporation. Mover and seconder, Councillor Kirkby, Councillor Lockett. All in favor?
Excuse me.
Yep.
For somebody just watching, they might not know what the difference is between the tax rates and the tax ratios. Perhaps Matt could explain that.
Sure. And tax estimates?
So tax ratios, you start with 1 for residential and then everything flex off of that. So for instance, if it's a new residential, a multi-residential property, then it would be 1.1 times the residential rate. If it's a commercial property, then it's 1.89 times the commercial or for the residential rate. And so it starts with the tax ratios and that splits the amounts between residential, commercial, industrial, multi-residential. And then really once you pass that, then you can turn past the tax rates. And those tax rates are in the exact same ratios as the tax ratios. So that's kind of the correlation between the two. Is one, you're kind of putting them into buckets, and then secondly, tax rate itself is assigned to each bucket.
Thank you.
Did we call the vote on 14.3? Oh, good. Okay, 14.4 is 2024 capping thresholds bylaw. That bylaw 23-2024 being a bylaw to adopt the optional tools for the purposes of administering limits, the commercial, industrial, and multi-residential property classes for the year 2024 be read and passed, signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed by the seal of the corporation. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Burton, Councillor Campbell. All in favor? Carried, thank you. One item under new business this evening, 15.2, a recommendation that reads that council endorse the appointment of Mr. Glenn Mackey as the lead and Grenville's representative to the Source Protection Committee. Moved by Councillor Lockett, seconded Councillor Campbell. Any discussion on this?
We know who Mr. Mackey is.
Who brought this one forward?
Through you, Mayor Speaker, I received an email from an individual from the Drinking Water Source Protection Project manager of Raisin South Nation Source Protection Region. In 2015, I think we had appointed an individual to this SPC board, and Glenn Mackey was the previous member on the board, and with the stepping in of the other individual, he put his name forward. This was news to us. We weren't aware that we had any say in who could sit on the board, but they requested that we bring it forward for council to endorse. So I guess a long answer for a short question. I wasn't given information on who the individual was, but he has sat on the board previously.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I know quite well.
Oh, you know him?
Yep.
Okay. You vouch for him?
I do.
Okay, good enough for me.
On your shoulder.
All right, then I'm gonna call the question. All in favor? Carried. Way to go, Ruth. I know Ruth Blackett.
Yeah, big deal.
There are no notices of motion this evening, but there is one mayor's proclamation. June will be Pride Month, so the proclamation is for Pride Month. Before our next meeting, we're gonna raise the pride flag, so at 5:30. So that's June 3rd, 5:30. I'm gonna read it now. Whereas the town of Prescott strives to be a safe, welcoming, and inclusive community for all, and whereas the town of Prescott recognizes the diversity as a vital and integral part of our community that is celebrated and strengthens our town, and we should take pride in our identities and never feel we must hide who we are at work, school, or within our families and communities. And whereas the community of the town of Prescott is immeasurably enriched by the diversity of our people, including those members of the two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, queer plus communities. And whereas acknowledging and participating in Pride underscores and affirms our respect for the dignity, equality, and visibility of 2SLGBTQ plus peoples and families. Now therefore, the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Prescott does hereby proclaim the month of June 2024 as Pride Month in the Town of Prescott and encourages all citizens, regardless of sexual orientation, to celebrate together in recognition of the rainbow of diversity with which our 2SLGBTQ plus community contributes to the town. Dated and signed this 21st day of May 2024 in the Town of Prescott. Thank you. Media questions, Ronnie?
Double checking the date you said to raise the flags, June the 3rd at 5:30.
Yes, June 3rd, 5:30. No, I'll be right here,
You're gonna do it right here.
right here.
That's our meeting night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's right before our meeting.
Thank you.
All right. So the next item is closed session. The recommended motion reads that council move into closed session at 6:38 PM to discuss matters pertaining to approval of closed session minutes, potential litigation, purchase and sale matter, and that the CA treasurer and director of administration and clerk remain in the room. Mover and seconder, Councilor Kirkby, Councilor Young, all in favor? Carried, thank you. And we'll start in about 2 minutes.
Well, it's like a speed meeting. What a good
Time.
time here.